Frost Giant Games. It is June the 7th. We have Alex on Ponza and we have Chase on Through the Breach. And keep from both players. Team events for Chase. Forest Utopia Sprawl for Alex. Naming red. Basic Island. And a pass. Shocking in a Stomping Grounds and a Clothis met with a remand. Island Pass. Snow Cover Island Pass. It's not a Field of the Dead deck. Pillage Basic Island. Remand. Alex picking up Chase's remand. I'll pass the turn. Alex missing land drop. Wait, is that a land in Alex's hand? Valakut's Awakening tap. He definitely had a land. Yeah, turn 2 Pillage. He just missed a land drop. Seasoned Pyromancer. Resolves. Discard Clothis, Pillage, drawing 2, making 2 1/1s. Azorius, or not Azorius Charm. Archmage's Charm and end turn to draw 2. Through the Breach. Emrakul. Getcha gotcha. We're going on to game 2. Pretty quick one for Chase. I don't think the land drop that Alex missed would have made too big of a difference there. But it was definitely funny to see. Just pass the turn without playing a land drop with 2 lands in hand. Players just moving the sideboards. Alex looks like he has his Karn package, so he's running cards in the main board. A bunch of just one of artifacts. It was pretty situational. Oh, he might be electing to just not sideboard at all. Yep, looks like he's just going to run back the same 60. Chase taking out 4. I think he's just putting in more interaction, Flusterstorms and whatnot. That might have been another Pact of Negation as well. Having the remand, though, for the Pillage was pretty clutch. Alex got to resolve 1 spell that game. Or 2 spells, the Utopia Sprawl and the Pyromancer before dying. Yeah, I think both players are keeping here. Red 6 in Alex's hand. And he has the fetch for it, so I get it. Bladed Pathway for Chase, and a pass. Stomping Grounds tap for Alex, down to 19. Draws Bloodbraid Elf. Assuming a Renin 6 comes out here. Yeah. Will this eat a Force of Negation? I think Alex only had 2 lands in hand, so it could be pretty, forced. We'll exile the Renin 6. That's unfortunate. Alex needs to top deck a land now. Ooh, he doesn't hit it. Yep, no castables. I hope this isn't just a short 6-minute game. Here's another pathway. What a Foothills to draw. Nice. Game's not over yet. Chase does have Through the Breach Emrakul in hand. So I think this is going to be a Seasoned Pyromancer. We can see Chase does have counter spells in hand, but I feel like you almost have to force the pillage here. Alex just deciding what to pitch. Pillage in another Seasoned Pyromancer. Make 2 1/1s. Draw 2 cards. 2 bolts. Prismari Command. Ugh. Draw 2, discard 2. If he finds a land... Yep. If Chase finds a land, he has a Through the Breach this turn. Makes Alex sack like all of his permanents. It's pretty backbreaking, but I don't think he hit the land. You gotta see 3 draws there, yep, and but Alex also does not have a land drop. I feel like if you know you don't have a 4th land and you can't cast this Bloodbraid guaranteed, you almost definitely keep the Seasoned Pyromancer there. At least you would have some safety, like a small safety net against Emrakul. You wouldn't be dead on the attack, and you would be left with your lands. Just another pass from Chase. Alex will Lightning Bolt. And another one. Chase will drop to 10. Blood Moon the draw. Not the best. Chase already has his island in play. Chase down to 6. I mean, yeah. Still casted, no other action to really take. Chase will counter draw, try to find a land. Visions, trying to find the land. Well, their land's on top. Okay, Chase plays his lane that he drew from the serum. Alex acknowledging he forgot to play a lane last game. Bloodbraid, Cascade Trigger. Bolt. Ooh, that's pretty good. Bolt targeting you. Alex down to 3. Huh. So he'll play a snap. Bolt the Bloodbraid, take 2. Through the breach. So that's Annihilator. Okay, he will shuffle his library because Emrakul went to the graveyard. Basic Forest. Oh, and a pass. And a pass. We're just going. We're going back to back. Just need to deal 1 point of damage. Both of these players at 1. Alex just hasn't updated his die. Through the breach. Through the breach and a concede. He didn't even have a creature to play. But you know, got it over with. Yep. He definitely should have just stole the elf. But, yeah. We will be back for the next round shortly. Thank you. Hello, we are back with round 3 of Modern. We have Amato on Gearhulk Opus and then Chrisman on Tron. Amato has already taken a mulligan and he's putting a card back right now. Starting with the Steam events, though.
Yeah, and I missed it. Did Crispin mulligan, or is he keeping 7?
I think he kept 7.
All right, well, Tron deck kept 7, blue base control. It's uphill from here, but
I think it was just 2 Tron lands in a map, which is like
Yeah.
you just can't ever mulligan.
no.
You might have just drew natural Tron, but
Might have drawn. I didn't see it. That might have been another
it's a
mine.
weird. The foiling in the hands are really weird.
Yeah. And I don't know the art super well on those ones.
He's finding the power plant regardless.
Yeah.
Amato's asking himself why he put Cleansing Wildfire in the sideboard.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting because honestly, despite knowing pretty much the list of every modern deck, I have no clue what Gearhulk Magma Opus looks like in this format. So
Yeah. In this format, I was like, only thing I could go off of is historic and
yeah,
very different, I imagine. But
I mean-
still, the Prismari command and Gearhulk Opus is the
Mhm.
core of it. Here's a remand.
Yeah. And we see a lot of in modern, like the blue-red shell that you have.
Yeah.
Yeah, looking through Amato's deck here looks pretty standard for that. Maybe not with a Hallowed Fountain. But you have your core of like blue and red, sort of tempo-ish
Yeah.
controlling cards, Cryptic, Archmage Charm, and all that. And then you have a few spots to use however you want, so that can be, Kiki
Yeah.
Cheeky Pestermite, that can be Through the Breach Emrakul, and, Gearhulk Magma Opus.
It was cool. We just saw a player, or Chase was casting Prismari's command last round, which was pretty nice. He was playing the blue red Through the Breach.
Yeah.
And it was pretty solid seeing him loot, and then like making a treasure was kind of huge. You could go off a turn earlier.
Yeah, turn 4 Through the Breach Emrakul is pretty
Yeah.
nasty.
Definitely when they're not expecting it, like you can know he's on Through the Breach, but
Mm-hmm.
definitely helps you win a turn early.
Prismari Command definitely plays a lot better in Modern than I read it at first, and I feel like a lot of
Yeah.
people read it at first. I mean, you have the two best modes from Kolaghan's command.
Yeah.
You have the Shatter and the Shock,
Yep,
and looting's not bad either.
that is very true. No, that's the one command where I was like, oh, I really liked it. I really liked the Witherbloom command until I saw it was a sorcery.
Yeah.
It's still very flexible, honestly, but
Mm-hmm.
Prismari just being an instant is just all that it really needs to be.
Yeah, so the Karn gets hard countered there.
Cryptic, yep.
I think the unfortunate part for Amato here is we might see Ulamog the Ceaseless Hunger,
Yeah.
which not an easy one to beat with your Remand Cryptic deck.
Counter it again.
All right.
So, Amato definitely has a Gearhulk in hand, so even if there is an Ulamog, at least you have a 5/6.
You still have still have 4 lands in play. You have a 5/6.
Yeah, like I definitely think Amato's still fine, but this is just a counter spell every turn.
Yeah.
Here's the Gearhulk.
Gearhulk.
Flashback Cryptic,
Yeah.
counter draw.
It's like a Snapcaster, but it's a 5/6.
Yeah. It's the same mana, right? But it's a 5/6.
Same mana, yeah. A little bit less flexible, but hey, when you use it with Cryptic Command, it's way better.
Prismari command to
Yeah.
draw. Swinging for 5.
With that Lightning Bolt, he does have 5 points of burn in the hand, so that's a turn off the clock.
Yeah. Here's a Jace, brainstorming. Lance and Prismari command.
Yeah.
Just gonna shuffle them away.
It's a Worm Coil, it looked like.
He did have an Ulamog he could have
Yeah.
cast last turn.
I think it actually works out a little bit better for him.
Yeah,
there,
getting rid of the 5/6.
Well, because now he gets to clean up some real permanents
Yeah,
in play
some
instead of
actual
just hitting
threats,
2
yeah.
lands. Yeah.
Crispin says he's going to find another Ulamog with his Ugin Sanctum.
It's not bad.
A cheer from Amato.
Yeah, and I think this is resolving. I think Amato just has Prismari commands and bolts.
Yep. No, yeah. Not casting it last turn. This looks really good right now.
Yeah. Well, because if it was cast last turn, it would have
just got 2 lands and
would
hit
have
the graveyard.
Gotten 2 lands, gotten countered. Let's see. Prismari command might be. It's 2 bolts in hand.
Yeah.
This is putting him to 13, 6 points of burn. It's not quite enough.
Oh, 2 lands off the top.
I mean, at least you get to clear him, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was better than Electrolyze.
It's not Prismari. He drew another Prismari
command.
He just can't get rid of him. He fetched and everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
4 cards.
And even if there's like another bolt on top of the library, it's not quite enough to get there. Yeah.
But Amato countered like every spell of that game, or like at the start, like every turn Crispin was just met with a counter spell. But yeah, Ulamog being a cast trigger,
rough,
pretty strong.
Yeah. And I will say this is not the matchup for Prismari command.
No,
you can get a little bit out of the shatter, but you're not killing anything with shocks, which is it's a 2-for-1 on that card. You really want to be able to leverage the 2 damage there.
No Magnum Opuses for Amato. That could have been really clutch, honestly.
I mean, yeah, if we had seen like a Magma Opus discarded, and maybe if the Gear Hulk hits that instead of Cryptic Commands, then obviously he's not countering the Karn, but he gets to put
doesn't matter. He
gets to put 9 points of power and play deal 4. Who cares about Karn?
Yeah, it's like instant speed, deal 13 damage basically.
Ugh.
Like it's a lot.
It sounds really good when you put it that way. I'll say that much.
Didn't see one. I imagine if it's an Opus deck, he plays 4.
Yeah.
But didn't see one.
I don't think you. Yeah, it's awkward because like you don't really want to ever see that card in your deck, right? But in order to justify playing Torrential Gear Hulk, you kind of need to have them work together as often as possible.
Definitely.
So.
Players saying they need a fan in the room, which is definitely true.
Yeah.
With the lights going on in there, it's probably way worse than in the play area. Yeah, so...
Nice little sauna box there.
Exactly. So that is something that we will definitely have fixed for next Friday, or for this Friday.
Yeah. Because there's, this Friday it's just going to be pre-release, right?
It's pre-release,
Modern?
It's pre-release for Modern Horizons. Thursday's a box opening.
Gotcha.
But we're doing drafts the week after.
Okay.
For actual release. Flesh Draft from Amato, both players keeping. Well, that was a mulligan from Amato too, and that was still
a
pretty close
mulligan.
game. Yeah. It could have really went either way.
Oh, and here we see sort of the counterplay to that turn 1 map. Get to force it.
Okay, is that natural Tron though? That is natural Tron though. That's heartbreaking.
You hate to see it. He has the force when there's natural Tron. He doesn't have the force when the map was actually needed. There's no justice in this world.
That's heartbreaking.
I've told Crispin before, I'll still be your friend. I still like you, but man, this deck. Yeah, it's totally a tower in play. He's got it.
Yeah. These 2 towers in hand, I believe, so he could have a turn 4 Ulamog.
He could, yeah. Well, it looks like Amato. He's got a mana leak for this turn. Missing a 4th land, but if he gets to go, say, mana leak into Snapcaster mana leak, he can put on some real pressure here.
Mana leak, and then he's gonna hit him with the
tower. Yeah.
encounter 2 maps. Heartbreaking.
Now, the upside here is I don't see a ton of incredibly
Actual
powerful
threats.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like there's another Tron land, a forest, some sort of green card there. Not sure which one, but I mean anything but Thragtusk is
Yeah.
relatively
He needs
beatable.
it a land here, though.
Yeah.
And
Oh, is that another cryptic?
yeah.
Ugh.
Smash it for 2.
Yep.
You can play another 2-1 with Flash.
We can, yeah. I mean, we saw him almost get there with Lightning Bolt and Burn spells last turn. It's like
Looks like
nature's.
Sylvan Scribe.
Yeah, I
but-
saw Nature's Claim, World Breaker, Silver
World
Scribe.
Breaker. Yeah, okay, yeah, that's it.
Yeah, all right.
That wraps it up. Even if he could cryptic there, it's
Yeah,
still
no.
it's still exile your land, and I have the mana to return this to my hand.
It's a cast trigger.
Yeah,
Messed
the
up.
cast triggers. Cast triggers are pretty good. Go figure.
Yeah.
But even if there was, he did have the mana for cryptic there. I don't think it would have mattered because he would just kept
No.
recurring it with the additional lands in his hand. But you know what?
Sometimes Tron does that to you,
Sometimes
right?
Tron does that to you. But we will be back with the 4th and final match as soon as possible.
Yeah.
Thank you. Hello, we are back with the fourth and final round. We have Keegan on Electro Balance and Dale on Grixis Death Shadow.
Yeah, this should be a good one.
A real game.
Yeah.
Not over in 9 minutes.
Right. Yeah, some definite back and forth here. It's a little bit uphill for the balance stack. At the end of the day, it's not fully a combo deck, but you're still trying to assemble, 2-3 card combinations of things through.
Against the Thoughtseize deck.
The Thoughtseize, Stubborn Denial. You have a couple other little awkward things going on, like all the Death Shadow creatures, at least the good ones. That is your husband on camera.
Yep. But both players were keeping their opening 7, it looks like.
Yeah. But like all the creatures outsize your rhinos. They can survive on a fairly low land count if you balance away their lands, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see, but should be pretty back and forth here.
I'm hoping. I just want a real game.
Yeah,
I just want a real game. That's all I'm asking.
Something that's not decided by we put our opening hands on the table and we can tell who won.
Yeah. The natural Tron was nasty, though.
Yeah.
You hate to see it. Counter both your maps, so I just have natural Tron the whole time.
Yep. That would probably... there is a fan in the background.
There is a fan. I had it off, and Connor's like, turn it on, you idiot.
Well... You turned it on. I just mentioned there was a fan there.
True.
Yeah.
And you know what? We're just going to deal with it for now, because it is way too warm back here.
Yeah, it's, you get commentary with fan noise, or there might be no commentary.
Yeah.
I'll just pass out.
We're just dead, yeah.
It's a little bit of a sauna in here with all the soundproofing panels, so...
Yep. Old building, too. Definitely doesn't help. No AC.
Oh, yeah. Well, this is like converted warehouse, right? So it's all like metal with no insulation.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I've seen a Street Wraith. Like, actually. I've been seeing so many Lurrus decks, it's like...
Yeah, right? Because, it's the question. It's like, yeah, Street Wraith is really good in these Shadow decks, but, Lurrus is also really, really good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Lurrus is super solid. I've seen Lurrus just carry so many of these games.
Mm-hmm.
I just love the card.
I think it'll be interesting once we get Murkfiend Regent in the format, whether or not that shifts some of these Shadow decks with blue back away from Lurrus a little bit.
Could you remind me what that card is?
So it's the 7-mana Delve spell, so like your Mag Angler's 7-mana Delve, but it's a 3/3 flyer, and it enters with a +1/+1 counter for every instant and sorcery you delved.
Oh.
And whenever you exile an instant or... I think it might just be whenever an instant or sorcery leaves your graveyard, you put a +1/+1 counter.
Oh, that's pretty sweet.
So it's the same thing as your Mag Angler, where it's just like a big thing with Delve that you can play. But it gets bigger. It has flying, right? Like
flying is huge, yeah. Gurmag Angler just... It's not enough a lot of the time. A lot of the time it is enough, but there are times it's not, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of the problem with, people have been talking about Murkfiend Regent is, like, it dies to Pyroblast a lot of the time, from what people have been talking about. We don't have Pyroblast here in Modern, so sort of all upside compared to Angler.
Random... a Pillage?
Yeah.
The Watery Grave.
Going after the Black Source, we might see Dale get punished a little bit here for fetching Steam Vents.
Yeah.
Although I think I saw Basic Swamp in his hand. Which would...
that's
an island, yeah. So, that's sort of...
Ooh, that's rough.
Sort of, yeah, the atypical choice to fetch up Steam Vents as your second one instead of Blood Crypt there might be punishing Dale a little bit. Now, that said, we still have a Gurmag Angler.
Yeah. Still a 5/5.
And especially because one of Keegan's colored sources of mana is that Fiery Islet. If he wants to use that for mana on these next couple turns, we might be looking at a 2-turn clock.
And another Fiery Islet, yeah. The Flame Slash in Keegan's main board definitely not looking good against the Gurmag Angler, that's for sure.
No, not looking good against Angler. It's not going to catch Shadow most of the time.
That's the Polluted Delta.
Polluted Delta, that's big. Yeah, so we'll see. I do see an Electro Dominance in Keegan's hand. Because Dale, I'm trying to figure out if Keegan rips a balance here, whether or not it's going to be good enough. I think Dale has him covered with a Drown in the Lock off on the side there.
Yep.
So
Definitely looks like. Drown in the Lock is such a good card.
yeah.
Love that card.
Really flexible card too. I think we've seen it since its release pick up a little bit more and more play in just these fair decks.
Electro Dominance for 0, targeting himself.
Yeah. Says, I think, going to cast a Crashing Footfalls out of his hand.
Which is going to be a blowout if he tries to double block.
Yeah.
It's going to feel real bad with the push in Dale's hand.
Yep. Yeah, so Dale doesn't even have to spend his Drown in the Lock here. Oh, is he?
Why would he? It's looking like he's going to counter the Electro Dominance, but that's definitely not what you do.
Yeah, because none of the 0 mana, no mana cost spells that you can cast there are uncounterable.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, he does say resolve, sort of just a preemptive fetch.
Just allow that. Allow that. Ugh.
Yeah, and I actually think, there's a Dismember in his hand, so he can Dismember one of those, get the blowout just as bad, and he doesn't have to tap his black mana for that one, so he could leave off Drown in the Lock. So Keegan's taking 5 here, but I think we might... Dale can't cast the Thoughtseize.
Can't cast any of the...
Yeah, this is the window
the shadows,
to have a balance, but I think that Electro Dominance was Keegan's only way to cast it.
Mm-hmm.
So if
there's like Electric Conjuring in his hand, it looks like, which is... He really has to hope.
Yeah, if we hit off Conjuring here...
Keegan down to 5. It hit or you lose.
Effectively, yeah. Because with Battle Rage and Dismember in hand for Dale, even another Footfalls would not be good enough.
Oh no.
6. Well, he gets
drawing 6 cards.
He gets to draw 6 cards, but he's at 5 here.
Yeah,
so
he's already played his land for a turn.
Oh no! Now this is cool.
Oh, the Flame Slash.
Yeah, I missed that Flame Slash.
Yeah.
So we can double Flame Slash the Angler, which I mean, it's not pretty. It's not what he wanted, but
no,
it's going.
It's definitely all right.
3, yeah.
Just to draw 3, deal 4 from hand. Yep.
And we are approaching the point in the game where that Greater Gargadon does have 7 counters left on it. Keegan has 5 lands in play. It's going to tick down next turn. So sort of concerning for Dale that he's at 10 right now, but if he loses another point of life, he has to be really careful not to die to that face Gargadon.
It's crazy because just leaving that Rhino or letting the Rhino resolve, Dale would have the game wrapped up here with how it carried out.
Yeah, for sure. Because you can
even the Thoughtseize or a Death Shadow there would have been more than you need.
Or I even think you just don't cast anything, right? You dismember one of the Rhinos, you leave up Drown in the Lock, and your Gurmag Angler's connecting here.
Exactly.
But we'll see. Dale's not completely out of it yet. Might even still potentially be favored. We'll see what the Street Wraith hits. Another source of black mana is big.
Ooh, Stubborn Denial draw. That's really good.
It's really good.
That's probably one of the best draws you could have got there. That wasn't another black source.
Yeah. Let's do so that Shadow's a 5/5, right?
It is a 5/5. It is ferocious.
Okay. So we do have, with that Dismember, Shadow could just eat the Greater Gargadon, right? There's no world where there's any chump block that Keegan might be able to force here.
Oh, but it looks like Keegan drew the Electro Dominance, so he does have balance available. Ooh, a Pillage. I think he might have kept it on top.
We'll see here, because Keegan does need to make some sort of play through that Stubborn Denial.
He's about to lose his mana, access to all of his mana.
Yeah.
Because those Fiery Islets are dealing too much damage.
Well, I mean, the Shadow's just lethal here, right?
Yeah. So, like, you basically... it's double Electro Dominance.
Oh, double
balance,
Electro
double
Dominance?
Electro Dominance.
I think Oh no, the Gemstone Caverns. He had 3 red sources Gemstone Caverns Island, so he couldn't actually cast both of those Electro Dominances. So I think, I think having that Gemstone Caverns in the deck might have cost Keegan this game.
So it doesn't tap. It's tapped for colorless, but there is no luck counter on it. Right?
Yep. So if you're going second, you can exile a card from your hand to put it into play with a luck counter.
Mm-hmm.
It only taps for colored mana with a luck counter. So that's a colorless land right here. Yeah, there's the Stubborn Denial. See, yep.
That's
Team just picks
heartbreaking.
him up.
Yep.
One red
That's
mana away.
heartbreaking.
Yeah, so I mean, we got what we wanted here, right? That was sort of a back and forth, close game of Magic. Both players were in it.
Yeah, that was a close one. I do think there was some missequencing from Dale, but it didn't end up mattering. He was really far ahead. I'd say he was at least in the driver's seat for most of that game.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it is unfortunate that sometimes if you slip up a little bit, missequence, give your opponent a chance to put a foot in the door, they still need to be able to have a foot to put in there, right?
Yeah.
Need to capitalize on the opening. So we'll see what sideboarding looks here. If I'm Keegan, I think you want to get some of those underwhelming spells that don't interact super well in this matchup out. So taking out the Flame Slashes.
Yeah, Flame Slash is not its day.
Force of Negation is a tricky one here because against the Shadow decks, you do not want to be forcing them. Especially when they have so much disruption. They want to really get card advantage and kill you with a Shadow, and going down a card against the deck with 6+ removal spells, depending on if Dale has anything like Collective Brutalities in the sideboard, really tough. But at the same time, the Shadow deck doesn't run a ton of counter magic, so a lot of the time what you're trying to beat to get your game-winning spell through is a single counter spell, and there being able to force is great. So
for sure. So it looks like Dale's bringing in Mystical Dispute. Is there?
Yeah, I saw.
It looked like he had a decent amount of things to bring in. Is there any world you bring in Dampening Sphere in this matchup?
So Damping Sphere is the sort of card where it's not amazing against this deck, because on something like an Electro Dominance or an As Foretold, you're a lot of the time just costing them 1 extra mana.
Yeah.
Dale has seen Collected Conjuring out of Keegan's deck, though, and against Conjuring specifically, Damping Sphere can be pretty brutal, because all of a sudden you're turning your 4 mana spell, which this deck really kind of struggles sometimes to hit 4 mana.
Yep.
Once you turn that into a 6 or
a 7,
a 7, right, because it's 5 if you want to cast 1, 7 if you want both of them. Yeah, then it really locks that card out.
Luckily, I think Dale saw enough. What is he bringing over there?
It's
I think it was Surgicals and
Yes.
Mystical Dispute.
Surgical, Brutality, Dispute. I don't love Surgical here. It's not the sort of matchup where you can... Oh, no, Surgicals are still on the board. Okay, yeah. Because it isn't the sort of matchup where, like, if you Thoughtseize and Surgical balance, that doesn't automatically win you the game.
Yeah.
And you're not interacting out of the graveyard really at all. Especially these builds of the balance stack where you have Collected Conjuring. A lot of those slots are coming away from, the finale of Promise you might be playing.
Do you like Keegan's version of balance? Because I've seen 2 different versions. Jeremy's also playing balance, but he's playing a balance deck with chalices in the main board. He's reduces the amount of 1s in his deck.
Yeah. So Jeremy, I think the innovation of what Jeremy was trying to do with that is interesting. Essentially, you take all of the 1 mana spells, so depending on the build, this one with Collected Conjuring, those are Sleight of Hands and Flame Slashes,
Yeah.
or the typical build without Conjuring. Those are just like Lightning Bolts and Ops. But you take away some of your 1-mana removal, you take away some of your cantrips, and you get to play with Mainboard Chalice, which is cool.
Jesus wins every now and again.
Jesus wins every now and again. And you just play some 2-mana cantrips instead.
Yep.
So you get to play See the Truth and Expressive
Yeah.
Iteration.
Expressive Iteration looks so good. Whenever he casts it, it looks super solid. I have heard Keegan say he often takes off his turn 2 most of the time,
Yeah.
which it's weird. It's weird. I like it though.
Mhm. I think Expressive Iteration is obviously an insanely powerful Magic card. I think it's at its worst in the balance deck if you were trying to play it there, because when you play with Iteration, you really, really want to have a density of 1-mana spells, so that on turn 3 you can get 2 full cards out of your Iteration, and it's a lot harder to do that in your
Both
Chalice
players
deck.
keeping.
Yeah,
Scalding Tarn, Steam Vents, Gargadon suspended.
Gargadon, all right.
I got a serious question for you real quick before we get too into this. Do you think Keegan's Companion is a waste of a sideboard slot?
Absolutely.
Absolutely? Okay. I figured, I've never seen him cast it. I've never seen him even attempt to put it into his hand.
Yeah.
I've
I've seen it. Keegan's played with Kahira in the sideboard of this deck often enough that
Yeah.
I've seen it in play a handful of times. You're spending a sideboard slot for something that very rarely comes up, and when it comes up, it's
You're
not.
in a losing spot, probably.
Well, it's not even necessarily a losing spot. It's just, I don't know. It's tricky to turn that Kahira into something that's worth an entire
Yeah.
sideboard slot. Well,
Oh, that's a lot.
I think I know what Thoughtseize is taking.
Wow.
I mean,
Keegan really didn't want to mulligan this hand.
if I'm Keegan, I think I keep this hand.
Really?
It has what you want to be doing. You're playing against a Thoughtseize deck, so mulliganing
That's
is
the big
punishing.
thing, right?
Yeah.
It does suck to mulligan against it, but having 3 balances in your hand. If you
Yeah.
you really thought about that.
It's Dale. It'll take
But-
a couple seconds
yeah,
to think, right?
But knowing you're against a Thoughtseize deck, mulliganing sucks, but you basically already mulliganed
Yeah.
having 3 balances in hand.
There are, and here
Oh.
we see it. Yeah, when you keep that hand, there are a lot of live draws. that you
Yeah,
can
yeah,
have.
for sure.
Yep. Oh, he's going for it here.
For 0.
Now he does get to put Dale down to, I believe, 2 cards in hand here. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
That's solid. That was the best draw he could possibly have gotten.
Yep.
100%.
Absolutely. Now the awkward part here is that Keegan is left with nothing. Essentially, he
Yeah.
has 2 uncastable spells, no lands. So even
Dal kept the hand with just 2. Oh my god, he ripped it.
that's
Dal kept a hand with 2 lands in it, but he just ripped the Gurmag Angler off the top. Holy.
I don't want to say that's the game there, but it might.
Realistically,
be in the
what can he
game.
do?
Yeah, because Keegan's at 15.
He's
here.
I believe he's at. Oh yeah, he is at 15.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because he fetch
Fetch
shocked,
shocked,
and
shocked.
then shocked for the stomping ground.
Yep.
Yeah, so this is a 3-turn clock, so even Keegan has to draw land, electric dominance. And that might be all his outs.
Yeah.
Because by playing that Kahira, you don't.
And that is game. Didn't draw
Yeah.
land. There.
I don't think there's
nothing
anything.
Keegan can do, to my knowledge.
Oh, there's a Battle Rage in hand. Yeah.
That's lethal.
Well,
It looked good. That electric dominance looked good there, leaving down with 2 lands.
I'm not sure, honestly, because the issue is the Shadow deck. There are a lot of combinations of cards
Yeah.
where, a land plus
A
one
land
thing.
and a death. Because at the time, he could have done land, death, shadow, and it would have been in play, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there are a number of things he could keep on 2, but
Yeah.
I don't think, after getting Thoughtseize, I don't think there's anything else he could realistically do. He definitely can't pass with the possibility of like a stubborn denial or anything.
I mean, if you pass, you're potentially getting. You might be getting like on a 2-land hand, you might get a second land out of there, something like that.
Mhm.
But I don't know. Maybe you just have to go for it. It's
Yeah,
just really, really tough to do to go for that balance there when
For
you
sure.
have no follow up whatsoever.
Yeah.
But
Definitely. Well, that was it for us.
yeah, that
We-
was round 4.
That was round 4. 20 minutes. That's the longest game we've had so far.
Yeah.
Okay. But thank you very much for watching, and have a good night.